My ex showed up with her fiance's kid and pressed to come in, so I refused, stuck to custody rules. Our custody plan says each parent picks up the kids on our day during a 2-hour window. The boys were ready. I saw her car on the camera, and they were already moving to the door when my ex knocked. I opened it, and she was holding a 4-year-old's hand. She asked to come in. She said her fiance's son needed to use the bathroom. I said I wasn't comfortable letting her inside my house. She has snooped before. I stood in the doorway and kept the threshold clear. She asked me to take the child to the bathroom myself. I said I wasn't comfortable with that either. She said the boy had to pee now. I said McDonald's is up the road. She said my bathroom was cleaner than McDonald's. My 11-year-old asked her to stop and go so they could leave. She told him his brother needed the bathroom. He said he would take him. She shot back that his father would rather the kid pee his pants. Then she left with our boys. Minutes later, she texted that I was cruel to a child and used him to punish her. She said I made us both look bad. I started to doubt myself. I kept replaying the door scene and the little boy shifting from foot to foot. I called my lawyer. He said we could raise it at a hearing we already had scheduled about a fight over a movie. I thought it was done. Then it was my pickup day. I went to her place. She opened the door wide and invited me in. I said no thanks. She kept pushing, saying we should show the kids we're civil. It felt wrong. I said I would wait in the car and texted my older son that I was there. A bit later, he texted me back that his mom said they couldn't leave unless I came inside to get them. I went back and knocked. She invited me in again. I said no. My boys appeared in the hall. Her fiance told them to come back upstairs. They ran to me. We left. I didn't know what trap that was, but I wasn't taking the bait. At the hearing, the judge said neither of us needs permission to take the kids to age-appropriate things like movies. He told my ex not to tell me I can't take them to do something just because she wants to do it first. If she wants to do it, she can, and so can I. He was not happy about the pickup mess either. He reminded her she had asked for a 2-hour window because she helps care for her fiance's kids. Then he said not to bring those children to my house and not to ask to come inside. He told me not to rush and to give them time to come to the door. Then she said the week of the wedding I had to pick the boys up from the resort, not her house, because they would leave for the honeymoon straight from there. I told my lawyer I was not comfortable. He said it was a burden. The judge said life needs some give and take. I had to do it. On wedding day, I got to the resort at 8:20. I texted my ex and my older son that I was there. I waited in the lobby. No reply. At 8:40, I asked the front desk if there was a note. There wasn't. I asked the concierge to note my name and pickup time in case anyone asked. I called my son. No answer. I called my ex. No answer. My chest was tight. I felt sick. At 9, I called my lawyer. His office said he would call me back. I kept calling my son. Nothing. I asked the desk for the room number. They couldn't tell me that, but the clerk offered to place a call. It rang and rang. No one picked up. I sent another text that said I'm downstairs and on time. At 9:20, I called the police. They took a while. When they arrived, it was past the pickup window, and I was sure she would say I was late. The officers asked for my ID and the custody order. I handed both over. They asked the front desk for the room. The manager came out and spoke softly and said my ex had checked out. He also said my kids were booked in a suite with her parents and his kids and had paid for late checkout. The officers stepped into the elevator, and I watched the floor numbers climb. They told me to wait and went upstairs. They came back with my boys and their bags. We left. My older son said his grandfather took his phone. They were up late, and no one set an alarm. He said their grandparents were furious when the police knocked on the door. My lawyer called me back later, and we set another hearing for after the honeymoon. In court, my ex said I knew the kids were with her parents. She said I staged it to make her look bad, and that calling the police traumatized the boys. I showed the messages. The judge spoke to my kids. They said they didn't even know they would be with their grandparents until the night before, and my older son's phone had already been taken. The judge gave me primary custody with her on visitation. He ordered that all future pickups and drop-offs happen at neutral public places with a 30-minute window. He said not to go inside each other's homes. He was clear and done. I nodded. That was the order. Now my ex is telling everyone I refused a child my bathroom. Was I wrong?